Hold the Mayo. It's time for Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. Find out what's being served with Mike, Defo and Lubie, the only show that covers food, sports, and the proper maintenance of your car. And now, a man who had the distinction of having an entire health clinic named in his honor, Mike Mayo.
I want the flim sauce with the awesome fave, with shafafa on the side.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Mike Mayo's Lunchbox. We are live. It's been a while since we've been here. One of our favorite stops on the Lunchbox tour. Wicked Cheesesteaks, pizza, roast beef sandwiches, and more at 4824 North Federal Highway in beautiful Fort Lauderdale. We've got Mike Lubie there on the mixing board, and we've got Jeff Defo DeForest. I got to get us loaded up onto the Let's Eat South Florida group. Defo, I saw that you just slammed down a slice of pizza.
Wow.
What happened? What happened to the daytime fasting?
I worked for a couple of days. I got to, yesterday in the afternoon, and then I finished up like my fifth show of the day, and I'm looking in the refrigerator, and I still had that stuff left over from Grandpa's. So I carved up like a quarter of a knish and ate it, and that was it. So the system was blown. I did get to this morning then without consuming anything else. So I pretty much went the basis of the essence of 3 days on the system, and I decided, you know what, since I blew it yesterday, let me just go back to what I was doing.
I was a little concerned. I thought you were changing religions, that you'd become Muslim and were observing Ramadan and you're not going to eat during daylight hours. And then next thing you know, the other thing is I was also a little disappointed. I put the over-under at 4 days, and I thought you might make the over.
I could have made it. I may try it again next week. I kind of liked it. It felt good. Almost getting through the third day. It was decent, but it's just like a discipline practice, I guess. See if you can do other things based on the fact that you can control your eating it like that.
I'm reminded of your old saying, which is quitting while you're ahead is not quitting. So I think you quit while you were ahead.
All right. You know what? I ended up doing a couple of exercise sessions each of the first couple of days, so I didn't feel bad about it. And today, there was a little more anxiety laced with the fact I had to take my car in to get the AC fixed, which you don't know what kind of number you're going to be quoted there. It could be anything. I mean, that could be like time to get a new car.
Like ahead, do you start to guess? Because I get scared. I go really high so that I'm always, so
nice. It's only 1,200. It didn't turn out to be anywhere near that.
It could have been worse because it could be August, and then you'd really be in a pickle.
What was weird was it was sort of working intermittently on the lower levels, so I knew it wasn't too severe, and it was still blowing cold air when it was blowing. So I figured it had to do with what was appropriately named the blower.
The blower.
So
the blower blew.
So I needed a new blower, and I saw the part.
How much does a new blow job? How much does a blower cost?
I look at it. I mean,
at the Hard Rock is different than
not all. Let's Eat South Florida viewers are in the gutter like you are, man. But
how much was the total? $250?
No, the blower itself costs over $300. The part.
Yeah,
so the whole repair ended up running me a nickel. That's what it's going to cost me.
That's not terrible.
That's not bad.
So like 100 labor, it's like $320 for the thing. So that's $420. So they were right in a ballpark of what you get quoted on, whatever artificial intelligence.
Exactly.
But isn't it life like that? You hit a nice pick 5 the other week, and you think you're rolling in dough, and next thing you know, boom, the AC blows. And
I don't look at it that way. I look at it from the standpoint that the car is 6 years old. It's barely cost me any repair money.
That's good.
These kind of things happen. I mean,
paid off.
Paid off, and nice. Where are you putting more pressure on an automobile here in South Florida?
AC.
Obviously, you need bulletproof glass, and if you're on 95, and air conditioning. You cannot drive here. I mean, you can do it, but it's not pleasant without air conditioning.
Tinted windows helps too, and you know why? Not because you don't want other people. Well, it's because when you flash the finger at other people, you don't want them to see it because it could be lethal these days.
Road rage, you really need to contain it because it's led to actually like guys shooting at each other now.
No, I've
while on the road.
I've lectured my daughter about this because she has her own car and she drives and she has a little bit of a temper and she liked to flash the middle digit.
Really?
And I told her you can't do that, Natalia, because there are crazy people out there. So
and the laws here are so conducive to safety. I mean, with the open carry and
stand your ground.
You you can be any kind of idiot and buy a gun
all
somewhere.
all you have to do is
Yeah.
be in reasonable fear that your life is in danger, and
Oh,
you're
God.
allowed to use
And
lethal
when
That's
force.
every day
somebody-
of my life.
Somebody flips me the bird, I immediately fear that my life is in danger.
Exactly.
So
Exactly.
I mean, I have every
Exactly.
right to shoot the gun,
Don't
right?
give anybody any
No.
excuses. Meanwhile, all right. So I'm glad the fast is over because you scarfed down the pizza here
I'm
at
not
Wicked.
as glad as I would like to be, but I'm
No,
okay
no.
with it. And you know what? Pizza here,
Yeah, it's good.
vastly underrated. Every time I
No.
bring it, I bring it over to my
I'm-
Michelle's parties all the time, and it gets gobbled up. And there were a lot of good offerings there.
I'm loving it because he gave me this is like our appetizer. We're going to get some cheesesteaks later. There's been a lot of cheesesteak talk on the Let's Eat South Florida group lately, and we're going to talk about that soon. But I love this slice. It's got the nice cheese, the big bubble,
Yep.
and it's a crunchy kind of charred bubble. So that's going down really good. So we're going to have some nice lunch here. It's been a while since we've been in, but we got to really start with, there was big news of the day that if you're a barbecue fan or just people who've lived in Fort Lauderdale and
Yeah.
Broward
Huge
County a long
Oh, yeah.
time, 36
Sorry.
years, 30 years in the brick and mortar that they currently occupy, Tom Jenkins Barbecue pretty suddenly announced they put up a notice yesterday on their both their front door and the front register, and that's the notice right there. I took a shot of it at about 4:30, and I alerted my old friends at the Sun Sentinel that they might want to get on this. But there it is, Tom Jenkins Barbecue closing. The last day of service is going to be for the Christmas and the holidays. The two gentlemen who founded it, it's Harry and Gary. Harry used to work at IBM. Gary was a middle school teacher. They kind of started the barbecue as a passion project, and they set up like a drum across the way, and it was there for a few years. And then they moved into this brick and mortar for 30 years. And at the beginning, it was a hit, a revelation. Did you have much experience
Tom
with the
Jenkins? I'm
Tom Jenkins?
sure I've eaten there at some point in time, but I don't think it's been in the last 25 years or so.
All
I
right,
really
well-
don't remember going there.
Well, the thing is, it has been a mainstay, and it's too bad it didn't make it to next year, because we would have probably gotten in there at some
Iconic,
point for
yeah.
an iconic eatery with
Yeah.
our man Andy
just before they
Cagnetta.
became iconic. Now, you're always speculating as to why these things happen, and then it usually has to do with rent or maybe a split. Did they lose the desire to do it? or
So this was and my former colleague Philip Felice actually spoke to the owner Harry, and then also his colleague Gary, that they're both turning 65.
Okay.
something? Oh, wow.
And they said
So
the
that's it?
business has been, just the restaurant business overall has been a real challenge, particularly since COVID. They lost a lot of their catering business, and then there's more, they didn't attribute it to intense competition, but just rising costs, food costs,
Yeah,
labor
yeah.
costs.
Yep.
And they said, you know what, 65 years old, 36 years of doing this.
But you don't even
it's
try to
time.
sell it? Don't you try?
Well,
Like, how
that's
does
the
that
thing
work?
we have to investigate, is whether they own
To
the
just
land or
okay.
whether
It isn't
they
renting.
have, maybe if they own the land, they probably are turning around and selling that plot of land to some developer. But I don't
Yeah.
know that part of the equation yet.
Okay.
All right, let's hope they made out. Obviously, they feel comfortable retiring at 65,
Yeah.
which is a
Good
pretty
for
good
them.
number. if you
And
can do it.
the other thing I know is our friend Jarrell Holston Jones, who has Fat Boys Barbecue, which
Yep.
seems to
Very
be
close.
sprouting up all over the place. He's opening one down in Wynwood
That's classic.
today. But he opened up a Fat Boys just like 3 or 4 blocks away from Tom Jenkins over the summer earlier this year. We did
Yep.
a couple of shows there,
Yep.
and I'm sure that cut in. There's a lot of look, the reaction on the Let's Eat group when it was posted, the story was posted about the closure. There's a lot of people who are in shock. A lot of people saying no.
Yeah.
But then there's some people, and this is kind of the way I felt also, is that it started off really, really good. I mean, those St. Louis spare ribs that they had there, fantastic, and they did the proper way over, hickory smoke, and they had the pit in the back, and then but the last couple of years, and also since COVID, and I think Harry and Gary were not involved with the day-to-day. They left it to some other people.
Mm.
And I think the quality went down. It's funny because we taped a segment yesterday that
Yeah.
hasn't aired yet.
Yeah.
With Eddie Jackson.
And you brought up Tom Jenkins, I think.
Well, he brought up Tom
Eddie,
Jenkins.
yeah.
Eddie Jackson, who was a former Dolphins player. I don't know if you remember him, 2 years on the Dolphins, and then he's gone.
Sounds like a defensive back.
The name's
He was
very familiar. Yeah.
He was a safety. I'm sorry, he was a cornerback.
He was a corner.
Undrafted free
The name's
agent.
familiar though.
He played during the 2 Nick Saban years with the Dolphins.
That had to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's annoying. We wanted to go after Saban, but he liked Saban.
Wow.
Saban actually went out of his way to bring him on and then get him a job with the Patriots personally because he's friends with Belichick.
There's a warm sign.
I know, so we couldn't really go after it.
We didn't go after Eddie Jackson, undrafted free agent. He turned into, after his NFL career was over, he started a catering business and a food truck, and this was in Houston. And then he got notoriety because he went on the Top Chef program. He was a finalist. And then a couple of years later, in 2015, he won. The Food Network does an annual talent search called the Next Food Network Star. And Eddie has that dynamic personality and an interesting background. He won that Next Food Network Star 10 years ago. He's parlayed that into now a nice career being on the Food Network as a judge and a host. And he's going to be taking part in the Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival that's coming up in January. And we'll get more to that later. But Eddie, I was talking to him because barbecue is one of his specialties. And basically, he was saying when he was a Dolphin, he liked to go to Tom Jenkins. He would pick up some of the barbecue there. But he also said that he was recently in South Florida a couple of years ago, or his actually wife has family down here. And when he went into Jenkins the most recent time, he said it seemed to have not been the same level and same quality, to which I concurred. And I don't like to say nasty things, but I just think
people have been saying that though.
Yeah, and there was a lot of people comments on the group in the reaction to the news of saying, you know, that it isn't what it used to be. And you know, time takes its toll on things, but we do want to salute them. I mean, it was a good run. And
usually it's just the opposite. You know, they go out on top. Well, once you've perfected something to the point where the people absolutely love it and they're willing to line up out the door and around the block, and it's always talked about among the best. You don't see a place like that just go into serious, noticeable decline.
Usually they get sold and there's new owners. They try to revive it.
Sure.
We've seen that happen at Grandpa's. I mean, that was a longtime diner, comfort food bakery that got revived and kind of reimagined as a bagel deli. So, to be continued. We'll see what happens to that plot of land. Maybe Jarrell will want to move Fat Boys in, and then that'll open opportunities also downtown. Anyway, always interesting the ebb and flow of the restaurant business. And but did you never went in there?
No, I've been there. My dad loves Tom Jenkins. I don't know. It's funny. I wonder if he agrees with your opinion because he used to go there all the time, and I haven't heard him bring up Tom Jenkins in a long time. So I feel like I remember I went with him years ago. Then I went with him. Not recently exactly, but within the last few years, and it's been a while. Like, I when I've talked to people about it, they have Tom Jenkins, but then you see them sort of fall into a Tom Jenkins, you know, like it's not what it was, which is sad because we deal with all these great restaurants that have found a way to keep it going all this time and find ways to make it interesting and reinvent themselves. So for them to sort of fall off, quote unquote, sort of stinks, but you know, it is what it is.
And a lot of the feedback on the Facebook group was that they weren't the people who were took the orders and what do you call
the staff,
the clerk, the staff. Thank you.
The workers, employees.
The employees weren't necessarily the most warm and welcoming, and that they. You know, some people said they were.
I'm glad you brought that up.
Downright nasty.
No, I haven't thought on that. And I'm going to pass this along to. And your daughter's a young server, but she's been doing Tropical Acres a little different. And I noticed this in these sports bars, which are always packed on not so much Saturdays here, but Sundays especially. If you're a young server, I would really go out of my way. Even if you're not, the same people come in like every week. They may be at different tables. Maybe you don't have them every week. But wouldn't you advise a young server like to at least acknowledge that a party that you served that it was very representative in terms of compensation and tipping? Wouldn't you want to just say, "Hey, how you doing?" or something when you walk? Would you walk by the table like 10 times and pretend like you didn't know the people? I think it's very advisable. You always want to see upbeat, friendly service anywhere that you go. Even this place I took my car for the air conditioning repair, I could tell right away that this was going to be a good place by the way the guy was on the phone.
They greeted you.
It wasn't the usual thing when they go, "Yeah, what do you want?" I don't know. "Hey, Joe, do we do Tiguan's?" Very professional. And I would think especially you're working a bar, somebody's going to be at your table for 3-4 hours if you're in a sports bar situation
100%.
and watching a game. You would want the person to want to make sure that you were their server, like every time you came in. And
Yeah,
I don't see that vibe going.
and
in
I don't know if
places,
it's a generational thing. Again, the Gen Z, they're on their phones. They don't have that basic human interaction down pat. and but it's funny you bring it up because when we were at Bob Roth's New River Groves the other week, it's something that Bob Roth, who's in his 80s, and his
he's
daughter,
like weird about it.
no, and his daughter Lisa, who's now running the shop, are saying that's an essential quality to anybody they're hiring.
Any business.
To make sure you look at a customer who's walking the door, who's walking in to spend their money at your place, look them in the eye and smile and say, "Hey, how are you today?
Good to see you guys
Great
back
to see-
again."
yeah,
glad you
Yes,
came in.
yes, 100%.
It seems like such basic common sense.
You would think.
But I don't know what's happened, and now we sound like the old.
Well, no,
people.
it's why.
I mean, I just think it's generally a good business. It also makes you feel like coming back there.
Yeah, and it's called the hospitality business
I was
for a
gonna say
reason. You
that,
want to
yeah,
be
hospitable,
hospitable to
yeah.
people.
It's not like they're doing anything wrong. It's just I always went out of my way if I serve customers. They're at somebody else's
Yeah.
table. Hey, how you doing? Because you want to acknowledge that
service.
you're happy to see them. Right?
Service with a smile
100%.
goes a long way, and that was one of the things people remarked upon. Again, and it's one of those things when the owner operator isn't on hand every day,
Yeah, people slack.
and you're just when the cat
When the cat is away, the mice shall play.
that's it. And then some of these
You're
staff-
struggling with basic.
He's on it today.
I just had this
common
massage
phrases today.
Okay,
You got
so
too relaxed.
here's what happened.
Only Mayo gets too relaxed.
I threw out my back last week. I don't know whether it was lugging a turkey or a table or something. And
No
it was,
doubt involved eating.
and it was one of
Yeah, for
those
sure.
sciatica things where you just
No, I
have
hate
those.
it, I
It's
hate
just
it.
radiating,
And then you feel it in
pain,
your whole body. You have
and
to shake.
it goes down
I
the
hate
leg, and then you twist, and you think it's getting better, and then boom,
do
you
a
tweak
thing
something,
and
you
you can't
sneeze, it's back.
LeBron James kept
so-
them out the whole first quarter of the
And
season.
and
There you
Val
go.
gives great massages. She worked on it a little bit. But I had to go get the full
There's nothing wrong with that.
60-minute
Yeah, people-
professional. And this guy that I get massages from, he's a magician because he
Good.
knew it went after he felt what was
Or he like
wrong.
feels his own and went for it.
And
yeah.
then he, he's like a chiropractor, but he's not a chiropractor.
Yeah.
He got the electronic thing out. The
Oh,
electric.
Jesus.
What kind of license does he
Stroke.
have?
No,
right
he,
at
but
the
he,
Does he even have a driver's license?
no, he
What are
has
you
a
talking about?
license. And he said, "Do you have a pacemaker?" I was like, "No." I said, "Why?" He says, "I'm going to use this electrical
So
Oh, geez.
stimulator thing that
Yeah.
kind of, and it feels like actually like it was like a knife cutting, but it actually
good
loosens
feeling,
up the
okay.
muscles." And then he did something I had never had done before. He massaged my core.
What is that?
What
Okay,
core?
this is your core though.
No, it's like in here. If you go dig into the sides underneath your hips,
Could he find it?
He
Well,
found
he
it.
could find it.
he found my core a year ago. Wouldn't have had
No one
any
could have
luck
found the
finding my
core.
core.
Hey, Joe, get in here. I can't find a cord.
But I have to describe it as it was tectonic. It
Okay.
was
Planes shifted.
the
You can actually
earth
feel planes
moved.
ticking.
It was earth shattering.
Oh, yeah.
It rocked me to my core, so to speak. So,
I think most chiropractors, and maybe this isn't true, but because I don't visit these kind of people too often, but don't they feel like they have to put you in some kind of just excruciating pain, so that you feel like you got your money's worth? Or do they just do it out of spite because they think you're like a schmuck? I don't know.
This was a combination of some discomfort. I wouldn't call it quite pain. And then, but then when you get to the end result and you see that it was building towards
Oh,
something,
yeah, all right.
and then it was just like the
Euphoria,
worked, yeah.
right.
and then I walked out and I'm just jelly now. I'm just like, and my brain is mush, and that's why I can't remember the old phrases. When the cat's away, the mice will play. So
I think the mice. No, something. He starts out saying there's something with mice.
That's the best.
Believe me, it's happened to me a zillion
That's my
times.
favorite.
Trying to remember the name of like Dan Marino. Yeah, the quarterback.
the
Yeah,
number
yeah,
13. 13. Yeah, he threw a couple
Yeah,
of
big
passes.
right
That's
arm.
so-
He had a quick release.
That's the worst. It's not when it's like a difficult. When it's something that everyone like.
Oh,
The guy he wore number 3
Yeah,
for the
yeah,
Heat.
yeah,
They won a lot of
yeah.
championships. Dwayne Wade. Yes, that one.
Oh, that
you know,
one.
like that sucks when it's a guy like that. Like
So, speaking of Marino and legends, Wicked Cheesesteak, they've had a couple of legends walk in here the last week.
Yeah, nice.
That soccer star, Leo Messi, who
Yes.
lives nearby.
he's like a regular.
regular
He's like a
customer.
chronic.
It's cool though that Messi could pull up here and like some guy comes out and he's got this, car obviously indicating he's successful or whatever, or this may have been able to scam a good car. But because you don't know in Florida.
Never.
And people see like Messi get out of the car and like, hey, hey, you can't park there.
Yeah,
That's for the
Right. They don't know who he is.
They don't even know
They
who
don't
this
give a
guy is.
crap.
He's the number one
It's
player
kind
in
of
the world.
incredible. This is a guy who's a international
Superstar.
megastar.
Yeah.
You know how many hundreds of millions he has on his Instagram
Yeah,
account.
He walks into a place in the Philippines and they blow right by Manny Pacquiao and go, Messi.
No, when he's anywhere in the world, you'll see crowds of people following him.
Yeah.
But
When
here,
he's in South Florida, he gets his own wings.
he comes out. He doesn't have a bodyguard. He just comes in and
We
gets
don't
like
care
2
at
dozen
all.
wings for his family.
Dude,
He
yeah.
loves the wings here.
You
Let
have
me
a
try
Lambo.
that
Who
Boston
gives a-
roast beef, the three-way. Yeah,
You have a Lambo. Who gives a crap? I have a Range, and this guy has a Benz. Like no one gives a crap down here.
And then Brian, the owner here, who's preparing our cheesesteaks now, said that also last week, Big Ben Roethlisberger
Ben
came in.
Roethlisberger.
He can eat.
I
Yeah.
didn't realize that he was living down here now, or maybe
They all
just
have a
passing
home
through.
here
Everybody's
somewhere.
here. What are you talking about?
And so this is it shows you the reputation. This is where champions eat.
Yeah,
Did
100%.
Roethlisberger ever win a championship? Probably not.
Yes, he did.
Yeah, he did.
He
He
did.
won 2.
Yeah.
Okay, great. In that case, this is
Yeah,
where
it
champions
is.
eat.
Tyreek
Wicked
Hill has won a
Cheesesteaks.
championship, and Tyreek
Right
Hill likes
on
coming
cue.
here. Yeah.
Here's a champion
wow,
himself,
wow,
Brian of
wow,
Wicked
Brian.
Cheesesteaks, and he's
Ooh,
dropping
look
the
at
bombs
this.
we got.
Ooh,
Those are real
deals.
deals.
These are
We've
real
We've got a
deals.
cheesesteak.
Real deals.
We've got a cheesesteak with onions and. Do you want to sit? You got
Come
a minute?
here.
Yeah,
It's
come.
been a
on.
while.
We haven't seen you.
We haven't had him.
I feel like we've drifted. Yes, it's all good. We've got Brian here at Wicked Cheesesteaks, pizza, wings, and roast beef sandwiches. How are you, Brian?
Excellent.
Good.
Ready for the seasons around the corner here.
Yeah, and we've got these lovely cheesesteaks. And, you know, there was a little bit of a debate on Let's Eat earlier this week. There's a lot of these newfangled cheesesteak places that put it on this big, like, hefty, crunchy Italian loaves.
Exactly.
But you use the classic Amoroso rolls,
We
right?
use the Amoroso roll, the big Italian roll, and like everybody else knows, when they go to Publix or they go to a meat market, or the ribeye that we use, $9 a pound.
Right.
So once you start to use those bigger rolls, if you don't use a Steakum product, that's a high-end Steakum product.
Well, the other guys are using those now.
Not,
right?
you know, like Burger Stop is he uses a legitimate product,
Okay.
but it's $19-$20 for a cheesesteak. Our cheesesteaks are $16 a piece. If you do
And
the
look at
math,
this, look at this bad boy. It's beautiful.
the meat's $9 a pound, $1 for the bread, $1 for the cheese. Multiply it times 3, it's $18-$19.
Yeah.
You know, but when you're a business like a Bay or a restaurant like us, it's hard to pass to the consumer to buy a cheesesteak for $18.
No, especially if it's a grab and go item. It's not, you're not sitting down at, at a
Exactly.
restaurant.
You know, our overhead is a little bit lower than a lot of places. You know, I'm here working, but you know, a guy like Mike at Burger Stop, it's $19-$20 for a cheesesteak, but he's not there working. He has a full staff. It's a
Right.
full business.
yeah, and they do.
And he gives a legitimate product.
And their bread and butter is burgers. over
Is
there.
burgers.
Yeah, it's
You
not
know,
called
once you-
Cheesesteak Stop. It's called
Yeah.
Burger Stop. And he sells a couple of the. Look, I've been there. I like the place. I like
Mhm.
him. I just think it's kind of overkill to do a cheesesteak with duck fat because it's already,
Exactly.
you got enough fat from the meat. So, but
him and Pepe are going head to head. If people are on,
and then there's that
Instagram.
Chucky's, the Chucky's cheesesteak.
He has a
thing.
legitimate cheesesteak too,
He
but
does,
it's a destination point, and
Mm.
it's $20 for a cheesesteak. He uses a beautiful roll from the bakery in Delray. He uses fresh ribeye, but when you fill the thing up, it's 10 to 12 ounces. You're going to spend $20 for a cheesesteak.
Yeah, it's a
You
lot.
know, if you look at Sonny's, they make their own bread.
Down in Hollywood,
They
iconic
use
spot.
the same vendor as the meat as we do, and it's 6 ounces of meat, and
Yeah, because
it's
they
$12-13 for a cheesesteak.
they bake their own Philly style
exactly.
roll, but it's only 8 inches long.
And he's owned the
and-
building for 40 years.
Yeah, and it's
So-
it's
And
we
it's an
love-
iconic,
It's an
lo-
iconic
location.
place. We
and it's
did-
delicious.
Yeah,
I think they
you've
do a
been
really
there.
good
Ah,
job.
Look, I'm glad that you're gracious with the competition.
Right.
But everybody has their niche and their areas, and
Mhm.
you are here right across from Holy Cross Hospital, near the beach and Commercial
Exactly.
Boulevard.
Yeah.
Defo, I've come around to your way of thinking in terms of when you have something like a cheesesteak where you got all these contents and they're kind of soft, it's kind of like a sloppy thing.
Yeah.
I think the soft roll
Oh,
is
no doubt about it,
essential.
yeah.
And why don't you take? Would you want the edge? or
I'm
you
a
want-
chicken Philly
want a
guy.
chicken
yeah.
guy. All right,
I
we're
mean,
gonna
as
get-
tempting as that is, because
I'm going to give you.
no, but you want to be able to kind of taste the blend. That's the thing with Espadas. I mean, all of their vegetables are so fresh, and they have so many distinct flavors. It's kind of like we were talking about a taco craft when you can taste the very distinct difference of the flavors that are involved.
Mm-hmm.
With the hard roll, you're just worried that your teeth are going to fall out.
Exactly.
And
I mean, my family owns a bakery, so I'm the one I could get the bread, anything that I could really want to
Right.
get.
You could use that hard, crusty,
but
seeded.
when you go to take a roll that's made by the bakery, that's a 10-inch roll, and we try it here, we bring it in, we tend to bring it in another time. You got to put 10 ounces of meat on the thing, and it's all costs. I feel like an Amoroso roll, although it's from Philly, it's shipped here. The biggest problem I find with the Amoroso rolls are the vendors.
Mm-hmm.
When the bread is shipped here and it stays frozen, and then you use it, it's great. So what happens in these tractor trailer trucks or GFS or whatever, the thing is shipped over there. It sits on the floor. It defrosts, and then they put the thing back in the freezer.
Right, and then
the
freezer burn and all that.
It's terrible.
It's not good.
And I don't disagree with it.
Right.
When you use a fresh roll, a Cusano's roll that Los Patas uses, you can't use that for a cheesesteak. The thing just falls apart.
Okay,
You know what I mean?
That's too loose. But
that's too loose.
Sandwich.
So you use a hard crusted roll, which is everybody in Philly is using a hard crusted roll, and it's going to be $20 for a cheesesteak.
Right, because it's bigger and you
it's
gotta fill it
bigger,
up.
and they've eaten these things like 4 or 5 times a week, and they're brought up on that kind of food.
Now, my point is this: that when you have this softer, squishier bun, it like sandwich engineering is very vital and depending on what you're putting on your sandwich. So, like for this, I just took a bite and nothing spilled out. When you do that hard crusty bread and you got to use more meat, and then when you crunch down on it, it all spills out everywhere, and then you need a knife and fork.
It's delicious if you eat it right away. As far as the restaurant itself, I think we should offer both, which we keep on trying, and then people generally don't buy the hard crusted roll. But you really should have both. Well, there is Alessio's roll, like the Pepe's Pizza uses in that he claims the only cheesesteak in South Florida. That's down there in Windward, which is getting like the crazy press, and he gets on there and saying he's got the only cheesesteak in Florida. So
that's bullshit. Well, that's,
So number one, it's bullshit. Number two, it's all driven on Instagram.
It's all marketing and the social media gimmickry. And you are a solid individual.
I drove down there twice. Ate down there twice.
Yep.
The guy from Burger Stop went down there, ate there, had a bad experience. So if you can tell me a guy can put fresh ribeye in a 12-inch roll,
right,
and sell it, think about what you're eating. Number one,
right?
You know what I mean? It's just impossible to even do it as a business perspective.
I have still not gone down there. I have no interest in it because of what I've heard. And I'd much rather eat your cheesesteak.
It's all PR. Think about Sonny's. He makes his own bread.
No, he does it.
It's a 6-inch roll. It's $12 for a cheesesteak. He uses the same fresh ribeye. Us, Sonny's, and the place in Delray, I would say, and Mike.
Big Al's?
Burger Stop. Big Al's.
Big Al's? You know what? I know.
They use fresh ribeye.
Okay.
They plank the steaks there.
Okay.
They don't chop it up, and they use a 10-inch Amoroso roll.
Okay.
And
I've preferred
$20 for a cheesesteak
to Big Al's because I don't know. Every time I've been to Big Al's, it's probably after a night of drinking on Atlantic Avenue, and that's what cheesesteaks are really good at, is absorbing a night of drinking. But it's also great for lunch.
But you get into like the Boston beef, which I really love that we're doing because of Boston beef that was on the beach that closed.
Right.
And they were gracious enough to give us some of the equipment. And
okay.
We should have opened the place, Brian's Boston Beef, and done cheesesteaks. Because people that come in the first sentence out of their mouth, I'm from Philly. I have to have this. I have to. Okay, great. You're from Philly. Right. So you want to pay $20 for a cheesesteak? You know what I mean? So that's the first sentence that I come up with. But if you just have to use fresh ingredients.
But the roast beef, but you've kind of pivoted to that because it became all the rage. Also, social media, the North Shore three-way.
No one should be eating that thing. You know what I mean? Like you're going to have 8 ounces of rare roast beef on an onion bun with white American cheese, barbecue sauce, and mayonnaise. Now, how many people really are going to eat that thing? You know what I mean?
My friend Jimmy.
A lot. Exactly.
Loves it.
Well, and it's a more cost-effective. And
it's a lot easier making a Boston beef sandwich than it is buying $9 ribeye.
Well, and I also find it more satisfying because you got beautiful ribeye, and then you end up, you're putting it on the grill, and look, it's still delicious. It's got that fat flavor and all that stuff. But, to me, I'd rather have beautiful, rare roast beef.
And who's doing that? Top Round went out of business.
Right.
He lost $1.5 million.
Yeah.
Boston Beef, they lost $1.5 million.
They lost their shirt on the beach.
You know, and Boston Beef on the beach, they had no parking. They're paying $9,200 a month for rent.
Yep, it was.
And there's no place to park your car. The beach is a nightmare over there right now.
It's
they have so many restaurants and not enough parking spaces.
Yeah, but but now you've kind of captured some of that market.
I like the Boston Beef. I like the way you like it,
which is au jus, like Brooklyn style.
Yeah, you toast the onion bun, rare roast beef, and then take it the next step and just put whiz on the side or something.
There you go. Well, I like a roast beef with the white American on it too, but I could do without the mayo and
the mayo. Yeah, well, the mayo thing. Yeah, it's a culture. It's a family thing.
I'm a self-hating condiment. But you, Jimmy, you've tried the Boston?
Yeah, I
roast
tried
beef?
it. Sure, it's great, delicious. Although I don't know how to compare it to authentic Boston three-ways or whatever. But he said,
there's even a thing called the four-way.
He was comparable.
And chop it on the top.
Oh, really?
Okay. He absolutely loved it. In fact, I told you, he keeps asking me, well, what day are they open? What day are they closed? And I kept thinking it was Tuesday that you guys are closed, but
we are closed on Tuesday.
Okay.
We finally started to open on Monday nights.
Okay.
We get a guy that he works at Aruba during the day. Now he's working for us. And so we finally got past that point. But the cost of labor, the cost of everything is through
it's
the
hard.
roof right now.
You're here every day, which
We're
is
here,
one reason we were just talking about Tom Jenkins closing, and one of the things that they attributed it to was the high cost of labor and food. Now the operators weren't in there every day, and the staff. A lot of the comments on the group was they weren't, let's say, the friendliest people. You're very friendly. You come in here, you'll kibitz.
I've had my days. You know what I mean?
Get out of here, Messi. Who needs you?
Here's your wings.
Listen, small fry.
The restaurant business isn't for everybody.
Yeah.
When you start to get into these smaller restaurants that are doing under $25,000 a week, and like an old Italian guy would own a pizzeria and have his whole staff, you can't do it anymore. The way this economy is,
the numbers
it's
don't
over.
make sense. All right,
it's over.
But you're hanging in there. You're hanging tough, and
we're hanging in.
People should come in, because everybody who comes in from the group, practically everybody, comes in and says, "Wow, that's a good cheesesteak."
It's a great cheesesteak, but the other sides of the coin is DoorDash and Uber.
Right.
They've killed the small mom and pop businesses.
Well, you got to raise your prices to put it on that platform. The people who are paying, they should pay for convenience. And we've had this discussion.
But, Uber is taking it to the next step. Uber, I like DoorDash is more of a straighter business profile, where if you go onto Uber and you don't spend money on advertising, you don't spend doing any BOGO, you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get seen.
Why they just don't give you visibility on the
upper
platform.
Visibility of the stuff.
So they've turned into Yelp, which is they're also extortionists for small business.
I don't know where the end game is, because the cost of the guy coming to pick the food up, getting it delivered to the house, and they've turned the thing, since they went public. I think they started out in COVID at 15%. That was
now
coming
that's
off
30.
The top. It's 30%.
Oh, geez, you wouldn't pay 30% vig to a bookie, would you?
I don't like to pay a bookie ever.
But the thing about
it's hard to get a new bookie when you own that kind of juice.
I mean, to have a driver and the liability for a driver.
Look, the bottom line, it's getting tougher. This turned into a very serious discussion. I thought it was going to be light for the holidays. Talk about Hanukkah.
Good stuff.
I feel bad.
No.
My family being in the bakery business down here, and us delivering to a good 60% of the restaurants that are here. And I'm doing this because I did the same thing for 30 years, and the mom and pop restaurants, they're not out there anymore. As far as like a wholesale bakery, we used to be tight, and my dad would say, "Hey, go out there and get another account, go out there and do this."
Right. Hustle.
And we could do it, but the small mom and pop restaurants, they're few and far between anymore. And the same thing is like a restaurant like J. Alexander's. We do the bread for J. Alexander's, but they used to order 15 different kinds of things. They only order one thing.
Okay. Everybody is kind of scaled back and consolidated. And then when you're dealing with the chains, that's it. They all have their own distribution networks. And
the mom and pop restaurants that used to be on every corner, they're not there anymore. Yeah. We got lucky for a few years with the casinos and stuff like that. And then the casinos were pretty good. They took a gap out of time, and then the growth pattern of the small restaurants are it's not there anymore.
All right. Well, it's challenging. And I guess it's a fitting that we have this discussion today when Tom Jenkins announced that they're closing and retiring on December 21st.
And he was a school teacher, and he did it as a passion, and he worked out of a trailer, and then got into the place. And
him and his partner from IBM, and I guess
Exactly.
IBM, I don't know if he left or if he got laid off, but one way or the other, they took what was a passion and turned it into a full-scale business and a pretty lucrative one. And
for a
but
long
now,
period of time. Yeah.
and now the numbers just don't make sense for them anymore.
Well,
So
the small mom and pop places, how many places have gone out of business in the last
a lot.
2 years?
Yeah,
You
and
know?
I guess it's all about owning your dirt, or if you have your own spot and you don't have to pay a landlord,
Yeah.
it makes the game a lot easier. Like Sonny's, because they have the.
Sonny's, they own the plaza. They've been there for 50 years. They do a great job. I
Yeah.
don't have any.
I'm glad
qualms
that
about
you
it.
are on friendly terms with it, and it was the stepson that took it over now.
Yeah.
Robert from.
I love the atmosphere of the place. Those old booths. You
Mhm.
know, you sit into a place that's been there forever.
And John, who was the dad who recently retired when he hit 70. I love him. He's the world's nicest
Mhm.
guy. I don't know if you knew John.
I never
and
met
Mel.
him. They
You never
sent
met
people over
John?
here.
Oh, okay. John was the nicest guy, and also like he's a gambler. So anybody I run into at a casino, I love
Mhm.
that. So that's. But he's enjoying his retirement. His stepson is running the operation now, and again, because they own the land, and actually they own that whole strip plaza, so they're
Exactly.
making money not just from the
I
restaurant.
mean, when you take a restaurant like this and you want to move it closer to Fort Lauderdale, like Broward and Federal, you're looking at $9,000 to $10,000 a month.
right.
So once you take that 9,000 to 10,000, where's the responsibility? How are you going to make that money back? You still have to be open until 1 o'clock in the morning. Finding staff
Right.
to be open till 1 o'clock in the morning is an impossible feat that I would feel.
All right.
And it's hard to staff these places. Like
You need a big family, basically, and
Yeah.
make everybody in the family become a employee.
look at Top
Yeah.
Round, the poor guy over there.
Yeah. Well,
trying it
Dave
for-
was a really nice
you know.
guy, and he had a good product. He had a lot of good products. We did a couple of shows over there,
Mhm.
and yeah. So again, it's a struggle, but I'm glad that you're hanging in there.
We're hanging in there. We're gonna try to keep it going, and do the best that we can, and hopefully we move closer to Fort Lauderdale. I
Yeah.
mean, if you look at the
We'll s-
city of Fort Lauderdale, where the Sears went down,
Yep.
they're doing economic grants, for places to move, and we've had options to maybe go over there. But I have a concern about on-street parking.
Mm.
Somebody,
Downtown is always tough.
yeah,
Yeah.
like you go into a building like that's going to have like 3,000 people living there, but the mom and pop guy that's coming off, say they drive from Plantation and they want to have a cheesesteak.
They just want to park in a lot like here, which is so you got a good setup here with the parking lot.
But the
it's just-
parking to me is an issue. And then I have a hard time figuring out those meters, putting my credit card in there.
yeah. So
And then I
it's-
say to myself, I'm going to run in there really fast. I'm going to pick the thing up and I'm going to eat. And then I'm going to come back down. And then I got a $40 ticket.
right, and then you get the ticket, and then the people go on to Let's Eat South Florida, and they blame the restaurant for the ticket, even though they're the
Yeah,
ones who didn't
so
put the money in
Here's
the meter.
these buildings that are going up.
Right.
But, like I think that the bagel place on Andrews, what is it? Mitch Bagels?
Mitch's Bagels, yeah.
I got a parking ticket there 2 weeks ago.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
Just
I mean, there's
feed
like
the-
3 parking
Did you
spaces.
just download the app and then you just pay the $1?
I have a hard time just finding your number in my phone. You know what I mean?
Uh-oh.
I gotta go
We
back
got
to work.
Sonata's like,
Okay.
what are you doing? You got orders.
right.
All right.
It was fun.
Thank you. Thanks
Take
for
care.
sitting down. It's good to catch up.
You
And
got it.
that's one more reason now your wife just loves me so much because I pulled you away. We're not going there. All right. We got to take our first break. Before we do, Visit Lauderdale Food and Wine Festival is coming up, and I've got big news today. Yes, we are offering the Lunchbox code discount. So go online today to vlfoodwine.com and check out all the different events. They got the intimate dinners, the seminars and classes. They've got the big ticket events, which is the Asian themed walk and roll on Thursday night, the beach barbecue on Friday night, and then the grand tasting Saturday, and then the beachside brunch on Sunday. All those events, you get 15% off the already low prices if you use the promo code Lunchbox. You just put in that promo code after you ring up your sales before you check out on Eventbrite. Go online to vlfoodwine.com, check out the list, and some of the dinners you'll get that discount too, including the one at our friends at Juan's and the one at Even Keel Fish Shack, and the one there's going to be a Sunday night one at Steel Pan Restaurant over on the beach, and that's going to be kind of a vegan themed. Those 3 dinners, along with all the seminars and classes and the big ticket events, the grand tasting, all those 15% off with the Lunchbox promo code. Go online today, vlfoodwine.com, January 19th to the 25th. It's going to be a great time, and it makes a stocking stuffer for the food lover in your life. vlfoodwine.com. All right, let's take our first of 2 breaks. We got into a very meaty discussion while we're eating our meaty cheesesteaks here at Wicked. We'll be back with more after these words.
Hey Lunchbox fans, is it time to sell your business? You've poured your heart and soul into your restaurant or business, and you want to see it continue the legacy you have built. Transworld can help. Call me, Andy Cagnetta, at Transworld Business Advisors right now and see if it's time for you to retire and relax. Iconic brands like the Mai Kai, Mulligans, Carlos and Pepe's, Mangoes, and many more turn to Transworld to help sell. Contact Transworld on Facebook or call 954-772-1122 or visit tworld.com. Again, that's 954-772-1122 or tworld.com.
When I'm looking for some wicked good food for a wicked good lunch, there's only one place to go. That's Wicked Cheesesteaks in Fort Lauderdale. It's at 4824 North Federal Highway, just south of Commercial Boulevard and across from Holy Cross Hospital. My friend Brian there, he will hook you up with some really tasty treats. They've got cheesesteaks, just like the best you can find in Philly, along with lobster rolls, because that's where he's from, Maine originally. And they have wings and pizza and everything you want to have a really good time. Wicked Cheesesteaks. They're open every day but Tuesday. Check them out online, wickedcheesesteaks.com. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Guess who's back and better than ever? Juan's. For the best in classic old school Chinese cuisine, a family-run South Florida favorite since 1966. It's at 664 North Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Chef Alex is carrying on the family tradition that started 4 generations ago. It used to be known as Christina Juan's Mandarin House, and you're going to love it as Juan's. They've got all your favorites: wonton soup, spare ribs, egg rolls, dumplings, Peking duck, and more. Combo lunch specials daily and takeout and delivery. For more information, go to their Instagram page at juans.fl. If you're looking for a great place for steaks, seafood, and more, go to Tropical Acres Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. It's at 2500 Griffin Road in Dania, just west of I-95 and the airport. They've been there a long time, since 1949. That means they're doing something right. You'll get old school hospitality from the Studiali family, along with great value, tremendous service. Of course, you could also go into the bar for happy hour every day, 4 to 6, and they have great value all night long. Also, a butcher shop that's open every day from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. except Sunday. The dining room is open every day at 4:30 except Sunday. Go to Tropical Acres. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Do you love Italian food? I mean, who doesn't love Italian food? Well, have I got a great new place for you, Elvis Italian Grill. It's at 4261 Griffin Road in Dania Beach, right near State Road 7 and the Hard Rock Casino. It's named for its owner, Elvis, and it has all your favorites: pizzas, pastas, veal chops, fresh fish, lunch specials, happy hour, and has one of my favorite chefs, the wonderful Manuela. There's full bar, great wines, al fresco dining on the deck with a water view. Open for lunch and dinner every day but Monday. For reservations and information, go to elvisitaliangrill.com. Delicious Mexican food with innovative twists. Margaritas with a medley of tongue-tingling flavors. I'm talking about Taco Craft, Taqueria, and Tequila Bar. The place to go on Taco Tuesday and every day. It's located at 510 North Federal and Highway in Fort Lauderdale, and also in Lauderdale by the Sea at Plantation Walk and Coral Springs. Taco Craft has specials every day, including bottomless drinks for a Sunday brunch, and Taco Tuesdays, including their new birria tacos with bone marrow broth. Oh, it's so good. They've even made a taco lover out of me, and they've got so much more, including fajitas, that open-faced smashed cheeseburger tortilla that's new, and a guacamole sample that's an explosion of flavors. The kitchen is open late. There's delivery and takeout. For more information, go to tacocraft.com. Tell them Mike Mayo, the Lunchbox, sent you. Hey, it's Mayo for Gilbert's 17th Street Grill. You know me, I love family-run places with quality food at fair prices, served with passion and pride. And that's why I love Gilbert's. For more than a decade, Lenore, Beth, and Richie Gilbert have been serving up the best burgers, wings, ribs, salads, and desserts. It's a fast casual spot. Everything prepared fresh to order from an immaculate open kitchen. They're at 1821 Cordova Road in Fort Lauderdale in the Cordova Shops just south of 17th Street. Open every day but Sunday. One of my favorite burgers in South Florida. Big, round, juicy pucks of 100% Angus beef, char grilled to perfection. And don't miss the sweet potato fries on the side. They're legendary. Go to Gilbert's, feast, and be happy. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox from Wicked Cheesesteaks, and they also have pizza, wings, and the great now Boston roast beef sandwiches here right across from Holy Cross Hospital, 4824 North Federal Highway. It was great catching up with Brian. We hadn't been in here since before baby Luca was born.
It's been a couple
right?
months. Yeah.
Yeah. And look, the struggle is real, and it's getting to be a more and more challenging environment, not just for consumers, but for these small business operators, Defo. And I really feel for them. And that's why people come on out here and support these, small businesses that do a great job with quality stuff, right?
Be a shame to lose all of the selections that we have. We have so many great restaurants here. South Florida, whether you're talking about Dade, Broward, Palm Beach County.
Yeah.
Just a tremendous selection. A food scene that's comparable to, I mean, maybe it doesn't have the well-known fancy places. It has a few of those, but great choices here. And there was a time not that long ago, it was almost like this was Cheesesteak Alley, just like you have Chicken Road up the street.
Yeah, God.
Like 100
6
chicken
of them
places.
in Pompano. Crazy.
And you had 3 or 4 cheesesteak places in a small proximity, one of which I think is closed, but real tough to maintain. You can appreciate it. I mean, here's a guy spelling it out for you.
Yeah.
He's got to put $9 into a pound of meat.
Yep.
And if he puts 10 ounces on there, that's like
10 to
almost
12
2/3 of a
12
pound.
ounces.
It's almost a pound.
It's a $6 item right there.
Yep.
And how much can you charge? And people don't want to get whacked for $25 per
Bingo.
sandwich. This isn't Katz's Deli.
No.
And people got to understand, you can make it, cheaper yourself at home, but the prep time, the shopping, the
I
cleanup.
don't need to
Can
make
you?
it just like this.
No,
at
and you
home.
can't.
That is
Can
great.
And you
you?
don't have the expertise to do it like that. You
And
don't
again,
have the flat top grill, and you have the overhead of the rent and the staff and these things. So
Well, and the
that's
other thing
why
is,
it adds up.
A
And
lot of these places have relationships with vendors where they may get a price you don't get. Right now, to go buy stuff at a store may not be that much cheaper. We did the math for like some of our restaurants that we deal with that own their own land or whatever, that get some prices where if you try to buy it yourself and buy all the stuff that it'll take to make it, it's not that much cheaper making yourself these days. Like, it's really not. Like, prices are insane across the board. So places like this that really work hard to keep prices down, I appreciate. I think we should appreciate.
But we're also sensitive that there's a certain amount that people can just
100%,
pay and can afford.
100%.
But when you look at, the fact that you go to a McDonald's and you could spend, $12 on a quarter pounder meal, but then right next door is Shenanigans and you can get a lunch special for $9.99, and even with your tax and your tip, you're out the door for $15. I'd rather spend the $3 more and support a local business and some employees that are going to be getting some tip money. And again, everybody's got to make their own calculations. The other thing is, like, if I'm in the middle of freaking, Wichita, Kansas, and I'm looking for a cheesesteak, and the only thing around is a Charlie's cheesesteak, one of those, those chains that you see at the mall, all right, then I'll go to but most of the time, I'm trying to find that small operator, the small local 100%. Independent.
Guy makes a great chicken filling. He really does. And on the roll, it's absolutely perfect. I had some of this Louisiana hot sauce.
That's a good one.
What a perfect blend.
I love that one. That one is in my own fridge.
And he's not chinching on the onions or the meat. I mean, the cheese is perfectly proportioned. I'm even watching a couple of sandwiches he's got working on the grill there, and in their raw essence, they look like they're going to be spectacular.
Oh, good. And this is quality meat. He right.
The flavors.
There are some people now that are using like this frozen steakum type product. And
steakum was always the thing, though. With cheesesteaks, if you were making them
at your house, 100%.
But when he's getting a high-grade ribeye, shaved ribeye, which is what a real cheesesteak is supposed to be, and it's got the good flavor, and it's tender, and it's a beautiful thing. So,
and one of these sandwiches is easily 2 meals.
For me these days, maybe even 3. But honestly, it's good. I just had a third of that and a little bit of the pizza. That's a perfect lunch for me. So come on out, support local. And speaking of that, last night for dinner, Val and I, we went and caught up with a place we hadn't been in a while, the Catherine.
Oh, nice. I want to get down to the Catherine so bad.
Now, Timon and Marissa were not on hand. They have family things going on. So, they're in there earlier in the day prepping, but he's got a good staff in there. We had another fantastic meal, and they had a couple of new items on the menu I wanted to mention. This is the problem with the Let's Eat group, because somebody posted yesterday looking about where do I get good steak tartare and beef carpaccio, and immediately my brain was like, oh, I need steak tartare. And the carpaccio part, I love it at both at Casa d'Angelo and at Anthony's Runway 84. They have a Wagyu carpaccio that's unbelievable. But steak tartare, which is like raw chopped high grade beef with a yolk and an egg, Not
of
for those.
zero appeal to me.
No, if for those who have like
what am I, Rocky Balboa? I'm going to start eating rye.
it's a real
You gotta be crazy,
gourmand
yeah.
treat.
100%.
But again, for those who have compromised immune systems, that is
Yeah, it's not
not the
great,
thing
yeah.
for you. But Val was in the mood for a martini and a steak tartare,
Okay.
and I happened to see that one of the new menu items at the Catherine is a steak tartare.
Okay.
So again, the Catherine about a year ago, they got full liquor, which is great.
Oh,
so
yeah. I haven't been there since.
we had a couple of Grey Goose martinis. We had the steak tartare. And then there was a couple of new items also on the main dish, the main courses. They had a duck and calabaza, which is a type of pumpkin risotto.
Ooh.
And then they had this, not even on the menu yet. It seems like Timon is testing it out.
Yeah,
and used me as a guinea pig. A anchovy spaghetti. It's like a spaghetti tossed with an anchovy sauce with some hot pepper flakes.
Okay.
I don't know about what you think of that, but anchovies.
Not a big anchovy fan, but I do like them in a Caesar salad.
Yeah.
I just don't like eating like the actual thing.
Okay, so this you would like because also one of the other dishes we got was a kale Caesar salad. That
Oh,
they used
nice.
There.
Yeah.
And they also blend in, again, you could taste
The
the
blend
fresh
in the dressing
anchovy.
is
Yeah,
kind of
yeah,
cool.
yeah.
Yeah, I like that.
That's
You
a-
sort of have to. Like a Caesar without it, it
you know,
feels a
you
little
like
weak.
your kale salads at we get at Taco
Taco
Craft,
Craft, they do
but
a great
this
job.
one they do it in a way the kale doesn't taste like gritty or
Yep.
it's like
Well, it has a
easy to,
bitterness a lot of the time. That's why I don't
easy
like
to
it.
chew. And that classic Caesar dressing on that kale salad there is great. But this anchovy spaghetti was fantastic. So
Nice.
I
I
hope
haven't
he
been
puts
there.
it
I've
on
been
the
wanting to
menu.
go since we had the baby. The whole pregnancy, we didn't get out a lot. I wanted to get into the Catherine. We miss Tim and Marissa. They do a really good job.
I highly recommend that place. And again, support local. It's one of those, your mom and pop place. There are a
100%.
couple that run it. And again, he's a acclaimed chef, James Beard, nominated finalist, all these things, and great quality. And it's actually pretty reasonable. All their dishes
yeah.
are like, you get some of the appetizers in the $15 to $20 range, and some of the main courses. That pasta, the risotto, is only $27.
I almost think it hurts him when it comes to these freaking awards because they want you to overcharge. Like, we leave there, and I always look. And again, yes, we know him and we're cool, but it's not like they're giving us. We pay our way, and I always look at the check and I have to look 4 times because we will go to all these really nice places that are elevated, and the price is very different. And I don't feel the Catherine's any different than those places. Like, to me, the dishes are high level, high quality, they're creative, but they're affordable. So I don't know if that's a bad. Like, I feel like these places like punish him for being more affordable. It's like weird.
If it wasn't for the martinis that we had, our bill would have been way under.
We never hit 100.
I mean, it would have been like $80.
And we eat, we get apps, we get dessert.
It's where you have the liquor that you get a little bit.
Yeah, but whatever. That's any place.
But that's it's one of the things that makes
That
life
place is
more
amazing.
tolerable is having a beautiful cocktail
course.
with dinner. All right, let us take break number 2, and before we do, Norman Love Confections. It is that time of year where you want to make things sweet and maybe give some gifts, whether it's some clients or family members, some stocking stuffers that you need. Norman Love Confections is the place to go to satisfy the chocoholic in your life. They have 2 of what they call dessert salons, one in Delray Beach at 16, was it 16? Oh, wait a second.
You with the addresses.
1966.
Boca and Delray, they have
1911. Oh,
locations.
man, I'm all, forget it. I'm not even
I
going to
don't-
try the address. Boca
Yeah,
Del
Don't worry
Rey.
about address. We have GPS.
Even easier. Go online to normanloveconfections.com.
That's it. That's your move.
And then you could get your gift boxes right online. They'll deliver it to your door in, cool, they have gel packs so the chocolates stay nice and beautiful. And again, all these things, they have macaroons in these dessert salons, some of these fine artisanal chocolates. It started about 25 years ago in Fort Myers. Now they're expanding all over Florida. And again, it is they're really pretty. They make a very thoughtful gift, and then you get to eat them at the end of the meal. So that's a wonderful thing. We're going to be at there for the show at the Boca Raton location in a couple of weeks, and we'll get to enjoy some more of those fine chocolates. NormanLoveConfections.com. All right, let's take the second break, and then we'll get out of here. My brain is mush. A tradition for South Florida sports fans for more than 30 years. Shenanigans. It's at 1300 South Federal Highway in Dania Beach, the place to go for all your favorite teams and events and food that's not your ordinary sports bar fare. Award-winning wings, burgers, fresh fish, and more, TV screens galore, and all-day happy hour specials. Kitchen and bar are open into the wee hours, perfect for late night bites and very close to the airport. For playoff action, football season, and a good time anytime, Shenanigans. Looking for inspired comfort food in a cozy setting? Blue Collar in Miami is the place to go. Located at 6789 Biscayne Boulevard, it moved to bigger digs a year ago, now has full liquor, and still features all your old favorites from chef owner Danny Surfer. Fantastic burgers, the braise of the day, and the city's best key lime pie. And drink specials every day. Open daily with weekend brunch. For reservations and information, go to bluecollarmiami.com. When people come to me and say, Mike, where should I go out to eat? I got guests coming from out of town. Where should we go? Cafe Seville. That's the answer. 2768 East Oakland Park Boulevard. It's a Fort Lauderdale perennial, serving the finest in Spanish and continental cuisine in a cozy, friendly, comfortable setting. Joey Esposito and Sally, his better half, they've been running the place for a long time. It's been open since the 1980s. They got great Spanish classics like paella, shrimp with garlic sauce, and all kinds of great seafood dishes. The stuffed veal chop, oh, that's my favorite. Go to Cafe Seville. It's open every day but Sunday at 5 p.m. for dinner. Tell them that the Lunchbox Mayo and Defo sent you. If you like seafood in a comfortable setting, outdoors, even keel fish shack at the corner of A1A and Commercial Boulevard in Lauderdale by the Sea, upscale food and a down-home setting, the chef owners, Dave and Brad, do a terrific job with all the seafood classics that you want. They have the best grilled oysters in town, bang bang shrimp, lobster rolls, and deli fish specials. They also have weekend brunch Saturday and Sunday. They have deli happy hour 4 to 7, and they also have other weekly specials like mussels on Monday and oysters on Tuesday. Go to Even Keel Fish Shack and tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. Hey, it's Mike Mayo. When the Brooklyn boy in me wants a good bagel with Nova or some matzo ball soup, homemade knishes, or a great deli pastrami sandwich on rye, you know where I go? Grandpa's Cafe in Dania Beach. It's been around a long time, an institution, but a little over a year ago, a pair of New Yorkers came in, bought it, and refurbished the place. It's beautiful, and they are now serving great breakfast, brunch, lunch. They've got the omelets. They've got eggs Benedict. They've got all kinds of great baked goods like rugelach. Grandpa's is just off Federal Highway on Southwest 1st Street in Dania Beach. It's open 7 days. Go in there, tell them that the Lunchbox sent you. The finest quality, warm hospitality, and world-class creativity. Those are the ingredients that make Daniel's, a Florida steakhouse, a special place. Come experience the restaurant that's Michelin Guide recommended and totally Mike Mayo's Lunchbox approved, with an impressive collection of steaks, seafood, and more, like their foie gras creme brulee. Daniel's is located at 620 South Federal Highway in Fort Lauderdale, just south of the New River Tunnel, open Tuesday through Sunday for dinner. For reservations and information, go to danielssteak.com. Fresh local fish, a sophisticated setting. I'm talking about Corvina Seafood Grill. It's at 110 Plaza Real South in Boca Raton, just south of Palmetto Park Road. It's the place to go for the freshest and local seafood and fish, some of it with a Peruvian twist like their great ceviches. It's open 7 days for dinner. They also have happy hours 7 days a week. You don't want to miss it. It's a great place. CorvinaBocaRaton.com for more information and reservations. Tell them the Lunchbox sent you. Same great Thai food, beautiful new location. I'm talking about Eat Thai, now in Boca Raton at 6299 North Federal Highway. Thai cuisine is having a moment, and Chef Sopanut makes some of the best in South Florida. A hip and modern spot with authentic Thai street food and some innovative twists. The spicy oxtail soup, Thai bouillabaisse, shrimp ceviche, and classic noodle dishes will wow you. And they now offer full liquor and craft cocktails too. Open every day but Tuesday for lunch and dinner. Go to eatthaiflorida.com for more information. All right, we're back on the Lunchbox at Wicked Cheesesteaks, pizza, wings, and roast beef. It is a glorious day here in South Florida. But before we go, one more topic, because, you know, since we've been talking about the closure of Tom Jenkins, I saw the other day somebody posted a topic of what's your favorite restaurant that closed this year, or what's the one restaurant that closed this year? Hey, Kim Bowcamper in the house. Look at that.
He's just here to get food.
He's here. He's here to pick up the. He looks all gussied up. He's ready to go to New York with the Dolphins, who are trying to get back to 500. Why don't we have him stop in and put on
I thought he was getting
headset?
food. I'm not going to get in
that.
the way of Kim Bowcamper getting food. I'll tell you that.
That's it. You never know who's going to drop by. It could be Messi. could be Penn Roethlisberger, or it could be Dolphin great and local broadcaster Kim Bokamper, friend of the show, the Lunchbox.
Before I talk too much, we're going to send my invoice. So where should I send the invoice?
Right over to Brian and Sonata.
Go to Brian. Yeah, I've been dying for. You know what? I got hooked on the Boston beefs here.
Yeah, aren't they good?
Unbelievable. Yeah, I was doing the cheesesteaks. I came when he's there. Try one. I said no, and now I'm hooked on them.
Well, before we get,
I came 3 days. It came the day before Thanksgiving. It was closed, and I was going to pound the door down.
Brian took a couple days off. He's allowed to do that. How's it going? How's Catch and Cut going? How's
doing well?
Good.
Yeah, we're doing well. Yeah, we've got the upstairs open now throughout, and that's doing well. We got a piano bar up there, and people are kind of going up there for after dinners and getting dessert and a couple drinks and getting doing the.
That's nice, and it's Stone
doing the tap
season.
dance like Defo used to do on pianos on the top of those Wurlitzers or whatever they are.
It's all good. This is Catch and Cut, which Kim Bokamper's restaurant group is the owners of, and they opened it up. What's it been? Not a year yet?
Not even a year yet.
Almost a year. And again, Stone Crab's there. I was in with a group. We did a big happy hour with a bunch of people, and we had a great time.
Good.
So good job. And we don't have to talk about the Dolphins. We no. Well, actually, they're rallying. They're getting better, right?
Well, they're rallying against some pretty bad teams.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean, is a good win against a bad team?
In the NFL, isn't any.
I'll say it's a little. I'll say it's a little better than it was because for the early season, we were the bad team that everyone was welcoming into to their stadium, right?
And now we get the Jets this week. Although that place is usually a house of horrors, going up to the Meadowlands for Dolphins.
And it's going to be a little cold, which I don't think fits to his.
When do you go up there with the team on Saturday?
Saturday.
Okay.
Go up Saturday.
All right. Up and back, quick trip up to the Big Apple. We were having a discussion about the challenges of small restaurants, and especially in this day and age with the rising costs, food costs, labor costs. And I don't know if you heard the news that Tom Jenkins Barbecue announced that they're going to be closing in a couple of weeks. I don't know if you went there or a fan of it, but what's it like for you? Because you guys have obviously a couple of different restaurants.
You know, it's funny. There's kind of some, when you look in the business side of it, you kind of feel like there's a three different levels. There's a lower level from a price standpoint. Mm-hmm. There's a mid level, and then there's the high level.
Crust, right?
It seems like the mid level is being squeezed out.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you've got like all these Twin Peaks are in bankruptcy. Hooters have all gone out, although some of the original owners are trying to buy them back. And some of those other sports, some Duffy's and all those kind of sports bars, they're struggling. But the low end seems to be doing well, and the high end seems to be doing really well.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess that's where it is in the economy, and it's. But there's the margins in all these restaurants aren't stupendous. Right?
They're so tiny now.
A little bit higher than grocery stores, maybe.
Right. There's no room for error, basically.
No.
And then when you
I think you gotta service well, and you gotta have people that like what they're doing, and that the diners realize that. And so it's a tough business all around.
You gotta have a good team.
Yeah.
And you got to have a GM that's maybe not Chris Greer, but
well, he's up somewhere north, and So I've been here now for a few minutes. Can Defo talk? Did he just come back? Did he just come back from the dentist or something?
No,
I'm fine.
Go ahead.
No, it's good. Mike usually carries these things, so I'm okay with it.
All good. Now, we were just getting ready to wrap up, but it is good to see you.
Yeah.
Any big plans for the holidays? You just hanging out?
Now we had a nice Thanksgiving with the family, and going to do Christmas and the whole thing, and that's it.
All good. All right. Now,
I hang around. I ride my scooter around here. I come over here, and when they're closed, and finally I've got them open for one day, and so I'm happy to. And I'm very hungry, so I'm gonna go get my Boston beef.
Go get it
with some barbecue and a horseradish sauce.
Do you put the mayo on it too?
No, I don't put mayo.
Yeah, that's a weird combo to me. Even me, it makes no sense.
In fact, I'm going to tell him on this one: don't even put the mayo in the bag.
Yeah, just leave it.
Just
mayo, not even on the side. Just kick mayo to the curb.
Yeah.
I'm used to that.
Yeah.
So, all good, Kim.
Well,
thanks.
You're the mayo that's good.
I don't know.
It doesn't put any weight on you. So, right.
Yeah.
All right, guys.
All right. Thanks, Kim. All right. We're going to get out of here. Before I do, a quick word about Tropical Acres. And again, one of the posts that was on Let's Eat today is people looking for places that are open on Christmas. And Tropical Acres is one of those places. They're going to be serving Christmas Day dinner, supper from 1 to 8 p.m. They do have plenty of availability left. So give them a call at 954-989-2500. We love Tropical Acres, Jack Studiali and crew. They've been doing it a long time. The place has been in business for 76 years. They're one of those independent operators that are not just holding on, they are thriving because they do a great job, great value, great service with a smile. TropicalAcres.com. Go online there for all the information, details, hours, menus, and don't forget their butcher shop. If you're entertaining at home, you could pick up all your steaks and also the rib roasts and the tenderloins, whole tenderloins. They've got that in the butcher shop every day except Sunday. Tropical Acres. All right, Lubie, that's going to do it for today. Defo, thank you. And we'll be back tomorrow from our favorite place on Friday, which is 10 Palms at Gulfstream. The championship meet is underway.
Yes.
So we'll be back with Joe Beja, Tony Segreto. All the legends stop by the Lunchbox. What a beautiful thing.
Nice.
All right. See everybody tomorrow. Enjoy every cheesesteak, every chicken Philly feet. I can't talk. Enjoy every sandwich.